Hey everyone, what is up? Welcome back to Fate Stay Night. We've had a wild run of the last few episodes. They've been insane. I don't even have too much to say. I'm really excited to jump back into it. I can't help but imagine this episode will be a little more chill. But I mean, maybe I don't know. Maybe we just keep sprinting right through this route. I guess the easiest way to find out, though, is just to actually play the game. Last we left off was after the fight with Berserker and rescuing Illya. I forget to bookmark? No, I did. Did not. Okay, I don't know why the picture is at the choice. Finishing breakfast, we go to the dojo. Kosaka's back in her room, and Saber is with me. As for Illya, she also here? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's kept us alive so far. She's right beside me, following me to the dojo. That's tough. Why does she want to play with us so bad? Like, she sounds really disappointed by that. I don't know why she's so kind to us. Like, is it as simple as just the fact that we showed her basic kindness, or is there some other underlying reason to it? The fact that we've heard her a few times talk about, like, you know, finally I've been waiting 10 years, right? It's like, is she in some way related to Shiro's past? Right? Like, maybe it has something to do with Kiritsugu instead. I don't know. Maybe Kiritsugu did something vile during the last Holy War that affected Illya. I don't know. I really could not tell you, but like, it could be super simple, but it feels like it could very well be a lot more complex than that. Especially given that, like, she's waited 10 years for something. Right? We just don't know what that is. I mean, I'd assume we'll figure it out. If not, I mean, if it's never told to us in any of the routes, we can probably just assume it's basic kindness, right? But I'd imagine we'll figure it out eventually, so. Well, it's naturally boring for Illya. After all, training isn't a fun thing to watch. How do you plan on doing that? Taking my hand with both of hers, Illya tries to leave the dojo. But I can't compromise on this.
Yeah, ダメだ、イリア。剣の鍛錬は日課だからきちんとこなす。俺は魔術師として未熟なんだから、少しぐらいは戦えるようになっていないと。それに、鍛えておけばイリアを守れるだろ。イリアをうちにかくまうって決めたのは俺なんだから、これぐらいはしないと締まらない。
That's a valid line of thought, honestly. I guess. I mean, I think that's more just I protect female. That's probably where it really comes from, but he's not wrong. if he didn't offer her protection somewhere else like the church, it is kind of his responsibility to protect her.
それはそうかも。けど私、シロに守られなくてもいいんだけどな。シロはお兄ちゃんなんだから、一緒にいてくれるだけでいいんだもん。
Nope, my persuasion failed. Illya pulls in my hand. You can't relent on this, dude. Saber's watching us silently. Her stare is rather painful. She must not approve of Illya yet, and I think she's acting too bluntly. Our eyes meet. Good. I'll have Saber convince Illya. That's not her job.
Saber, お前からも言ってくれ。午前中にセイバーと鍛錬をするのは日課なんだって。
私に言うべきことなどありません。
Yeah, she's not gonna help you. This is your responsibility, bro.
イリアスフィールを連れてきたのはシローです。彼女に言い聞かせるのはシローの役割で、私の責務には含まれていませんから。
Yeah, Saber said, I'm not helping you. Something's wrong. I don't know why, but could it be that she's really mad? Yeah?
なんだ、セイバーもよくわかってるじゃない。剣の鍛錬なんてしなくていいのよ。残ってるのは雑魚ばっかりなんだから、そんなの必要ないもの。ねえシロ、他のマスターなんてセイバーに任せて、私たちは外で遊ぼう。
No. I lose my balance and take a step toward the exit.
ダメだ、話せイリア。こればっかりはわがまま言っても聞かないぞ。剣の鍛錬は休まないし、これからもずっと続ける。そりゃイリアにはつまらないだろうけど、俺はこれが好きなんだ。文句があるなら今の方で休んでいてくれ。
I shake her off violently. She must not have expected me to shake her off. Illya moves away and looks at me uneasily. Crap. Even if I had to get her off me, there must have been a kinder way to do so.
すまんイリア、今のは乱暴すぎた。けど剣の鍛錬はやめられない。しばらく一人にして悪いんだが、今でおとなしくしていてくれるか。
I feel like the easiest way to do this is to promise to play with her later. Illya starts to walk away without saying anything. She walks to the entrance and stops by the wall beside it.
いいわ。ならここで見てる。
Okay, that works.
それなら文句ないんでしょ。
Sure. She screams and glares at me. Now she's pissed. You managed to piss everyone off.
いや、それは構わないけど、ここ寒いぞ。今だったらお茶もあるし、お茶受けも完備してるんだが。
She doesn't care.
私がいいって言ってるんだからいいの。なんだ、シロとセイバーを二人っきりになんてさせないんだから。
Okay. Saying something strange, Illya looks away.
まあいいけど。飽きたら今に戻ってても構わないから。
I don't understand Ilya's point, but I guess things are settled. I take 2 shinais from the wall and turn to Saber.
じゃあ始めよう。3日ぶりだからどうも勘が鈍ってそうだけどな。セイバー、どうした？ぼーっとしちまって。熱でもあるのか？
いえ、別にそういうことではないのですが。
That stupid smile. That stupid smile says embarrassment to me. Saber looks away from Illya and shakes her head. Why do I feel like she heard Illya say, I didn't want to leave Saber and Shira together? I don't know. That's what put her in that funk.
体は万全なんだな。なら始めるぞ。ほら、しない。
いえ、投げていただければ結構です。あまり不用意に近づかれては困ります。私たちは剣の鍛錬をするのですから。
That's definitely what happened. She's definitely like us, alone? Contact? Closeness?
だからそうだって。何言ってんだ、セイバー。
I throw her the shinai. After all, I've never gotten Saber. I've never been able to close in on her, so she doesn't need to tell me not to go near her carelessly. Saber catches the shinai awkwardly and takes an exaggeratedly deep breath.
それでは始めましょう。今までとは勝手が違いますが、平静を保つようにしろ。
It's gonna be different. Are you not pummeling us this time? Looking at Illya, Saber says so.
大丈夫だ。誰が見ていようと始まれば気にならない。
I ready my shinai and look at Saber. In front of me is the golden-haired girl with a shinai. That fixes my attention only on her. How many times did we knocked out today? Finishing the training after 2 hours, we enter the usual break. Stopping, I place my shinai on the wall.
改めて実感した。やっぱりセイバーは すごい。
Maybe one day he'll land a hit. Nodding, I drink water from a kettle. Quenching my thirst and wiping my sweaty neck, my body finally calms down.
ねえ、今のが鍛錬なの？なんかシロが一方的にやられてたようにしか見えなかったけど。
Hey, it's slowly built our instincts, okay? It's kept us alive. Illya says something unpleasant.
それは違う、イリア。今でこそやられっぱなしだけど、以前はもっとひどかったんだ。むしろ一度も気絶しなかったあたり、今日は上出来だったと言っていい。
Zero knockouts! Insane! Get the man a round of applause.
そうなんだ。けどそれってシロの腕前なのかな？セイバー、シロが何度もバランス崩してたのにわざと見逃してたような気がするんだけど。
That's tough. She just didn't want to knock us out in front of Illya, I guess. Illya ponders. She's sharp. I noticed that too. I don't know whether she was showing consideration for my body or whether she's not up to par. It's probably more consideration for your body. She probably felt bad. Or just didn't want to embarrass you in front of Illya. But she did embarrass you in front of Tosaka, so maybe not. But either way, Saber wasn't going full strength against me. Well, she never goes full strength, but she still mercilessly attacked me when I showed an opening. But today, Saber lacked that. She did not perform any attacks that would have knocked me out, even though she usually does.
イリアもそう思うのか。やっぱりセイバーに見逃されてたのかな、俺。
不思議とそんな感じはしなかったよ。セイバー、ちゃんとシロに追い打ちしようって竹刀を構え直すんだけど、とっさにやめて下がっちゃうのよ。あれ、何だったのかな？見逃してるっていうより、怖がってるっていうか、遠慮してるっていうか。
Man, maybe the freaking magic circuit scenes got her in a funk regarding us. Kinda seems like it.
はあ？まさかセイバーが遠慮なんかするもんか。そんな情けがあったら俺は初日であそこまで痛めつけられなかったぞ。
Maybe she has developed it. That's right, Saber doesn't hold back during training. I could desperately concentrate on Saber because I knew that.
一体どうしたんだよセイバー。こんなんじゃ鍛錬にならない。まさかとは。
いえ、
Whoops.
手を抜いていたなどということはありません。私は普段通りシロより一段階上の剣士を想定して相手をしていたのですが。
It knocked me out. Saber must feel today's training is strange as well. Yeah, I guess on her voice it did kind of feel that way.
ああ、そりゃセイバーが手を抜くなんて思えないし、真剣にやってくれてたのも分かってる。けど今のは消極的すぎなかったか？もっとこうガツンと正面から打ち合ってくれないとためにならないってば。
正面からですか？ですがそうなるとマスターに近づきすぎです。それでは展開によっては体がぶつかってしまうというか。
I see. It is indeed that funk. That's exactly what this is. Yes, it's very important that I knew the context of the actual context of the magic circuit scene. Because she has been very weird around us since then. And the actual context of it being an H scene, right, makes that a lot more obvious as to why. What?
そりゃ打ち合ってるんだから肩ぐらいぶつかるだろう。そもそもセイバー、密着戦になったら甘いとばかりに体当たりしてきて、よく俺を吹っ飛ばしてたじゃないか。密着戦はセイバーの得意とするところじゃないのか？
That stupid embarrassed smile says it all.
私、そんなことをしていたのでしょうか？
Yes.
していたのかって。まあ、割と頻繁に。
Illya has to realize what this is, bro.
ほら、初めて竹刀を合わせた時も、 派手に壁まで叩きつけてくれただろ。
Oh lord.
女の子なのに力持ちだなって言ったら、剣士としてこの程度は当然だってセイバーは言ったじゃないか。
Oh lord.
あ
Yeah, Ilya's like, ah, I see. Saber's standing there dumbfounded. Saber really is acting weird today, but I have no idea why. It'll be a problem if Saber's sick or something, so maybe I should talk to Tosaka about it later on. Yeah. We resume our training, still different from how it was before. We resume, but Saber backs off after only a few matches. Is this a new training method? Yeah, sure. She might counterattack when I let my guard down. I watch Saber closely. Saber narrows her eye seriously and taking a step towards me.
シロ、昼食にしましょう。
What? Hey, dang, that's an attack we weren't prepared for. Says something rather unlike her.
は？
I lower my sheen eye. Oh, you're off guard now. Get walloped.
昼食にするって、もうそんな時間か？
That would have been brutal. The clock says it's a bit before 12. She's right that it's time for lunch, but this is the first time Saber has suggested it. We never noticed the time when we were training in the dojo. It was the routine for us to take a break and only notice that it was lunchtime when we felt hungry and looked up at the clock. Lunch choice. Save. I thought I missed a dialogue. I think I'm going with choice 2. Why are you exactly on time today? Man, she's just been waiting to have lunch with us, huh? Could you imagine? No way, we're fasting today. That'd be tough. Oh, man.
そうだな。イリアもいることだし、今日は早めに飯にしようか。
Putting the shinai down, I agree with Saber. And then... Saber's shoulders slump in relief. She's being even more suspicious. Maybe I should at least ask why.
よかった。それでは今に向かいましょう。シロの作ってくれる食事は美味しいのですが、準備に時間がかかってしまいますから。
昼飯を作る時間がもったいないのか？
No.
ああ、それなら毎日弁当にすればよかった。そっちのが手間がかからなくて楽だし、いちいち台所に戻る必要もないしな。
I feel like she's gonna have a weird reaction to that. No? Guess not. I was going to show my thanks by making a gorgeous lunch, but I guess it can't be helped if Saber says so.
シロ、何をしているのです。早く今に向かいましょう。
いや、だから昼飯だろ？
Man, she is really weird right now. Placing my shinai on the wall, I arrange cushions for the three of us.
ええ、昼食です。一息入れるのはその後なのですから、早く厨房に立ってもらわなければ困ります。
なんでさ、今に戻ることはないし、急ぐ必要もないだろう。ところで、困るって何が？
That's a great question. She's trying to... Oh, God. When they get grayed out, it's something big. In like a stupid way, not like a serious story moment way, typically, but... Real answer, she's just trying to spend downtime with Shiro. Saber suddenly stops as if she's switched off.
それに、どうして今日に限って時間ぴったりなんだ？
She got exposed.
なんか急ぐ理由でもあるのか？
いえ、別に急いでいるというわけではないのですが。
急いでないんならゆっくりでいいじゃないか。時間は十分にあるし。
いえ、それはそうなのですが。
Bro. Yeah, so what? Saber completely has fallen for us at this point? I see. Saber looks around awkwardly as if not knowing what to do.
いいですから今に行きましょう。昼食を取らなければ午後の鍛錬に支障をきたします。
だからその準備をしてるんだって。暇なら今に行って朝作っておいた弁当を持ってきてくれ。
お弁当ですか？
Is he trying to bait her into something, or did he actually make boxed lunch? Oh, did he? I don't know. I nod while opening the window to let some air in. And then, I hear a rumbling sound of hunger.
ああ、そうか。いつもはどっちかの腹の虫で時間を確かめてたんだっけ。道理でおかしいと思った。
I turn to Saber.
どうしたんだ、セイバー。窓開けたら寒いか？
Bro, the temperature ain't changed that much that fast. What? Imagine you open a window and just immediately you're like, ooh, I'm freezing from like a decent ways away. That's not how that works. I mean, you can feel the air when you open the window sometimes, but... Well, we're going to eat lunch, so we have to ventilate the room.
いえ、なんでもありません。今に昼食が用意してあるのですね。
Saber runs out of the dojo. What the heck, man? Those conservative blows in her mood right now and all. Does Saber have a fever today? It's love sickness. At noon, we start to eat lunch. Why is this not the living room? I made a proper meal this morning, so I made a boxed lunch with the leftovers.
これは、なるほど。朝の料理をパンに挟んだのですね。
Saber admires the sandwich as she eats it. She's using a paper napkin so as not to dirty her hands. I can sense her elegance even with this kind of lunch.
朝も思ったけど、シロはお料理上手よね。
I'm trying to get him to cook for me. Food sounds pretty good. I need some.
私ね、ご飯が美味しいのはいいことだと思うの。
On the other hand, Illya is stuffing in her sandwich, full of energy. I don't know if she's out of control or just copying me. Illya usually seems more well-mannered than Saber, but that doesn't seem to apply to dining manners. I was gonna say, isn't she the one who, like, just, like, dissed everyone? Like, Saber and, Tosaka for their manners?
待ちなさい、イリアスフィール。それでは髪が汚れてしまいます。
Saber places a napkin against Ilya's cheek. Something like butter must have been on there as Saber wipes around Ilya's mouth.
ありがとう。けど、どういうつもり？セイバーは私のこと嫌いなんでしょ？
I guess friends with Shiro, friends with Saber? I don't know. That is a pretty quick turnaround for somebody who was literally just suggesting to kick her out.
ええ、今でも警戒はしています。ですが私とて人の心はわかる。あなたには敵意がなく、シロは客人として迎えました。ですから私も最低限の礼は尽くしますし。
それに？
その髪は美しい。目の前で汚れてしまうのはいささか心苦しいというものでしょう。
Okay, Saber. I keep screenshotting this, not because I screenshot every version of everything, but I think this is probably my favorite version. They've just gotten better, I guess. Although there's no way this is the thumbnail, unless the entire episode is just downtime, in which case it might make a decent thumbnail. That must have been from the bottom of her heart. Saber's voice is the same as always. It doesn't sound like she's thinking about Illya. Illya stares at Saber, and I realize Illya has never directly looked at Saber until now. For Illya, Saber was just my servant and not someone that deserved to be treated as human. So what, is this how she's gonna get humanized to Saber? Or to Illya?
そんなこと言ったって、シロは私のものだけど。
Oh lord.
まあ、少しはセイバーのこと考えてあげてもいいわ。シロを勝たせてあげることはできるけど、私じゃ守ってあげられないものね。
Illya says so while shrugging her shoulders and eats her sandwich.
言われるまでもありません。マスターの盾となるのはサーバントの責務ですから。
Saber answers Illya plainly. The conversation is the same as before, but their voices sound more gentle. Okay, I guess they're getting kind of close. That's good. Tosaka comes while we're relaxing after lunch.
シロいる？こっちの準備はできたから早めに顔を出してよね。
Mage training. I want to say some Magus training after he accidentally, not accidentally, after he somehow managed to make Caliburn. That was not an accident, but you know, I wonder if she's just gonna realize that he has potential and just needs to go a different direction, or... She addresses me concisely and returns to the outbuilding.
そうか、忘れてた。午後は遠坂に魔術を教えてもらうんだった。
As I never had a proper teacher, Tosaka's magic lectures are more than helpful. It seems Tosaka is still waiting to teach me, so I should go to see her as quickly as I can.
悪い、遠坂の部屋に行ってくる。どのくらいかかるかわからないから、セイバーとイリアは部屋で休んでいてくれ。
いいよ。私もなんだか眠いし、少しお昼寝する。
What the heck, man? She really is a little kid. Or acts like it, at least. Illya goes out of the dojo, rubbing her eyes sleepily. Good. If Illya will calmly go to sleep, there won't be any problem with me going to Tosaka's room.
シロ、リーの部屋に行くのですか？
Yep.
ああ、そう言っただろ。遠坂には魔術の基本を教わらなくちゃいけない。
She gonna get a weird reaction about this? She gonna wanna come with us or something?
その必要はあるのでしょうか？バーサーカーは通れましたし、私たちが協力して挑む敵は存在しなくなった。
I mean, I suppose, but can't hurt.
ならば、シローがリンに教わることはなくなったのではないですか
？Excuse me. You say that, but we don't know exactly who Castor is. What if Castor is like Merlin or something? As funny as that would be, given their past. I mean, like, could you imagine? Like, it could be someone extraordinarily powerful, so how do you know that? What if you do need that coordination in the future? That might certainly be true. First of all, Tosaka taught me so that we could go up against Berserker. Now that that need is not there, there's no more reason to learn from Tosaka, but personal interest? Yeah.
バーサーカーとは関係なしで教わりたいんだ。俺は未熟だから少しでも早く一人前にならないと。
そうですか。シローがそう言うのでしたら、私に止める権利はありません。
You can't monopolize our time, Saber. I'm sorry. Saber murmurs with a sad face. She was really trying to monopolize our time, huh?
じゃあレクチャーを始めるけど、その前に聞いておくわ。あんた、体で壊れちゃったところとかない？
He's probably recovered already. Tosaka asks me a strange question as soon as I enter her room.
壊れたって何が？
I don't know, didn't your arms like just get broken? Or one of them?
だから動かない箇所はないかって聞いてるの。あれだけめちゃくちゃしたんだから神経が焼き切れるのは分かってるのよ。
Tough. We're fine.
まあそんなのはどうでもいいんだけど、体のどこに異常があるのかぐらい知っておかないと授業にならないから。
Well, I'm guessing she saw us make a holy sword twice and is like, there's no way he just did that, right? Like, that had to be drawing way too much power. It seems my body should be numb somewhere, according to Tosaka. But I know myself that she's wrong.
いや、動かないところはないぞ。一晩寝たら頭痛も熱もなくなったし、俺は至って健康だが。
はあ？そんなわけないでしょ。セイバーの剣を投影したのよ。あんなの腕一本維持してもおかしくない芸当じゃない。
So what? Are we secretly built different and just never got training? Is that what's going on here?
だから動くって。だいたい体が動かなかったらイリアをおんぶして帰ってこれるわけないだろう。あの時おかしかったのは頭痛と熱だけだって。
嘘よそんなの。シロ、ちょっと腕見せてみなさい。
Bruh, she doesn't believe us. She's like, wait, this guy's actually like a legit magus. Without waiting for a reply, Tosaka takes my arm and stares at it. That makes my breathing stop. Even though I'm getting used to her, having her this close tenses me up.
本当に異常はないみたいね。
Yeah, you got some competition now, huh?
焼き付いた跡かな。あざみたいに黒くなってるところはあるけど、他は完全に修復されてる。いえ、治ったというより、ようやく生え変わったってとこかしら。
As she murmurs, her breath brushes my arm. That makes me blush, but
ふざけた体ね。これ、例の自然治癒による回復じゃないわよ。シローの自然治癒は明らかに外部からの働きかけだけど、こっちはあなた自身の治癒能力だと思う。
So this boy's just built different, huh? What the heck? Just what, passively heals too? She says so while rolling up my sleeve and patting my arm.
ストップ。もういいだろう、遠坂。用が済んだら椅子に戻れ。
I pull my arm back to get away from Tosaka.
ん？何よ。こっちはあんたの体を見てあげてるっていうのに。って。ははん。
Oh god. Oh no, that's an evil smile type line. We're about to get that evil smile, huh? One of them. Yeah, we got the evil grin. Okay. Tosaka moves closer to me. I should have known she'd have done that, bro. I should have known.
熱は下がったって言うけど、まだ十分ありそうじゃない？シロ、顔が真っ赤よ。
Oh my god, brutal.
そんなの俺の勝手だろ。お前関係ないんだから気にするな。
Brutal.
そうなんだ。関係ないんなら、私がこんなことしても影響はないわけよね。
What is she about to do?
額に手なんて当てるな。熱なんてないんだから、そんなことしても意味ないぞ。
This is foul.
ええ、そうみたいね。今度は耳まで真っ赤だもの。熱っていうより酔っ払ってるみたい。
Bro, she is evil, swear to God. It's deliberate. I bet she's doing this deliberately. She definitely is.
遠坂、お前分かっててやってるだろ。
Oh, 100%.
ああ、バレた？シローがあんまりにもベタな反応するから、ついからかっちゃった。
I had to make fun of you. That's tough. Oh my god, I love their interactions. It's just so funny every time. You should go to hell for toying with a man's innocence.
ま、冗談はこの程度にしといてあげる。あんまりからかうとミイラ取りがミイラになりかねないしね。
I've never heard that phrase in my life. Tosaka returns to her chair in a good mood. This is a problem. Tosaka will likely make more fun of me as the days go by. Yeah, for sure.
遠坂、今更言うのもなんだけど、俺は真面目に授業を受けに来たんだ。
What? No. It's fun when she makes fun of you, though.
あら、失礼ね。私だってそのつもりよ。今のだって教え子の状態を確認しただけだもの。
Oh, man.
そうかよ。じゃ、そろそろ本題に入ってくれるんだな。
そうね。本題といっても私の専門外だからアドバイスぐらいしかできないけど、しないよりはマシだから。
Tosaka turns to me seriously, discarding her earlier lightheartedness.
正直に言ってしまえばね。私があなたの力になってあげられたのは前回でおしまいなのよ。
Really? Really? Does she just realize she's not a very good teacher, or that she just doesn't understand anything that we can do?
こんな短期間の授業で魔術は身につかない。
Ah, I guess that makes sense.
私はただあなたが使ってなかったスイッチを取り付けただけ。それはわかる？
Yeah, that makes sense.
あの宝石だろ？確かに、あれを飲んでから魔術回路は作るんじゃなくて切り替えるものになってくれた。
Yeah, that kind of power spiked us, because there's no way we could have ever formed Caliburn if we were like, hey, yo, Berserker, give us like a few minutes at least, probably a lot longer than that. We gotta make a magic circuit real quick.
そう。一朝一夕で教えてあげられたのはそれぐらい。けどそれだって今まで鍛えてきたものを表に出したに過ぎないわ。私はあなたが体で覚えた魔術を後押しすることしかできないし、
他の魔術を教える気もない。
No intention? Why?
だって才能ないもの、あなた。
What? You just watched us form a holy sword! Wow.
そこまでズバッと言われるとある意味さっぱりした。けど遠坂、俺が使える魔術ならアドバイスしてくれるんだろ。ならあの時に使った魔術が何だったのか教えてくれ。
Dang. So in her eyes, what is that? Does she just think he's not like very good at magic? I guess besides projection, and it's no use trying to train him in anything else? I mean, that's all it can really be, right? Tosaka doesn't answer. She just glares at me like I'm her enemy.
遠坂、そのレクチャーだよな、これって。黙っていられると俺も困るんだが。
Or maybe she just sees that as a fluke. I don't know. She averts her gaze with an unhappy expression. That's only for a moment.
無理よ。私、投影魔術なんて使えないもの。自分が知らないものを教えられるわけないじゃない。
遠坂が使えない？
Can't or won't? That's my question. Because I mean, they talked about how it's not very efficient, right? So maybe it's just that she never taught herself, not that she couldn't teach herself. I tilt my head questioningly. Wasn't the thing I used against Berserker fundamental for Magus? No. Assuming the structure of an object and passing the necessary magical energy through it. It's no different from a strengthening magic. But it's hard to pass my magical energy, an alien element, through an object that's already there. It's like adding paint I consider red to make something redder, but ending up with a different color. I guess that makes sense, yeah. Compared to that, it's so much easier to draw using my own paint from start to finish. Yeah, I guess that's gotta be pretty weird. He just, out of nowhere, turned that thing into a holy sword. Or not that thing, nothing. I can just draw whatever I want.
そんなはずあるか。遠坂ならあれぐらいできるだろ。強化より簡単だぞ、あれ。
あんたね、今の他の魔術師に言ったら間違いなく殺されるわよ。あんたがやったのは投影で、かつ宝具を完全に複製していた。
Dang!
あそこまでできるフェイカーなんて私は知らない。
That's brutal. Why are you being so brutal? That's a capital F faker. Like, that's meant to be an insult. What, is she just like not acknowledging that happened, or is she just in denial that it happened? I feel a chill. It's not my imagination. Tosaka's certainly hostile to me.
どうってことないわ。
She jealous? I don't actually know. I mean, it might be that. She might be realizing we're maybe a little more, like, good at the magic thing than she thought, but it seems we still have no ability to control it, like, in a usual moment. Just when, like, a fight has broken out, because that's the only time we could consistently use our strengthening magic, and it's the only time we pulled off projection for sure.
そんなことあんたの蔵を見た時からうすうす感づいてたんだから。今さらエミやシローに殺意を抱いても仕方ない。
Wait, what? I forgot what that word means. God dang it. I guess I could have just alt-tabbed, but... State or feeling of being actively opposed or hostile to someone or something. So there's no point in feeling hostile? I mean, I guess. Well, you feel more hostile, though.
勘違いしてるようだから言ってあげるとね。あなたがやったのは投影の魔術なの。実在する美術品とか名剣とか、そういったものを自身の魔力でイメージとして再現するっていう半端な魔術よ。
Right?
大抵は儀式の際に使用する一時しのぎの代用品として使われる。イメージで編んだそれは当然架空のものとして認識されるからすぐに消えてしまうものなんだけどね。
I can understand that it's a reproduction made out of illusions, I saw a saber sword in my dream and imagined the golden sword based on it.
よくわからないな。魔力ってのは粘土だろ。たとえイメージでも一度形になったものなら消えることなんてないんじゃないのか。
そんなわけないじゃない。魔力ってのは自分の体の中でしか存在できないものでしょ。
Yeah, I think she just doesn't understand, and that's why she's like acting like this.
だから物に魔力を通したり魔力をスターターにして自然干渉を行うんじゃない。
Like, I think she just doesn't understand how we pulled it off. Like, we seem to have a different perspective on magical energy.
そりゃあ私だって魔力を飴のようにこねて探検ぐらい作れるわ。けどそれで終わり。それは探検の形をした飴に過ぎないし、外に出した魔力は気化していくからすぐに消えてしまう。
I mean, that would explain why it disappeared so fast. Or wait, did it break? Didn't it break? Or did it just disappear? I feel like I remember the thing shattering. Or was that the bow? It might be the bow that shattered. I don't know.
いい？魔力だけで作り上げたものは長続きしないものだし、あくまで形だけのものよ。
I don't know that I'd call the holy sword that took 7 of Berserker's life just a shape.
まあその形だけのものを外見も性能もオリジナルに近づけるのが投影魔術らしいんだけど。
I guess that could explain it. Certainly, magical energy has no shape. I can feel it when it's in my body, but it fades and disappears once it goes outside. So no matter how well I make a blueprint in my head and construct something out of magical energy, it is only natural for it to fade away since it's made out of magical energy. Come to think of it, when I first did something like projection, when Kiritsugu first started to teach me, he told me to do strengthening instead because projection was inefficient. When he first did something like projection. So he's done it before. Huh.
そうか。投影って魔力の消費が激しいんだ。使ってもすぐに消えてしまうから作っても意味がない。
そういうこと。例えば銃の魔力を使って剣を投影するでしょ。その場合その剣の力はせいぜい3か4なのよ。人間のイメージなんて穴だらけだから本物通りの複製なんてできないんだもの。
Maybe we will eventually, though. I mean, I guess that's all we could really hope for. I mean, unless we can manage something else, there's still not a better use of our magic energy, right?
対して銃の魔力を使って剣を強化した場合、その剣の力は20にも30にも跳ね上がる。加えてその持続時間は投影の何百倍よ。
See, that makes like a lot of logical sense, but I feel like that doesn't even apply to Shiro. Because he can't consistently use everything else. So what does efficiency matter?
わかった。投影魔術っていうのは今じゃ儀式の時にしか使われないものなの。
And to kill berserkers.
道具が揃えられなかった時の代用品としてすぐに消える複製品を用意するための魔術に過ぎない。シローの父親が強化を教えたのは適切よ。ただでさえ魔術回路が少ないんだから投影なんて無駄な魔術を教えたら一般人と変わらないもの。
I understand that. But then, what was that? The golden sword that I imagined in my head and reproduced seemed to have its original powers.
じゃあセイバーの剣を投影したのはまぐれだったのかな。考えてみればあの剣に蓄えられていた魔力は桁違いだった。自分の何百倍っていう魔力を模倣するなんてどう見てもおかしいよな。
Yeah, that's a good point, I guess. That is a bit strange.
それはきっとシローは剣と相性がいいのよ。
She feels like she's
魔術師
grasping.
はそれぞれ属性を持ってるでしょ。
I feel like she's kind of grasping at straws here. She doesn't understand how we pulled that off, I feel. And I feel like she's just kind of regurgitating what she's been taught about projection and how it's not very useful. But at the same time, I mean, we made a holy sword that took 7 of Berserker's lives. I feel like that's just always useful. Right? Especially given that we can't do strengthening. Like, consistently.
あなたはそれが剣なんだと思う。
属性？火とか水とか各元素に当てはまるものか。
そう。普通は世界を構成する一元素を背負うものなんだけどね。魔術協会でも火はノーマル、風はノーブルって言われてるじゃない？
Well, I don't know. I guess.
地水火風空でもいいし、木火土金水でもいい。
Do we fit any of those? If it's a sword, I guess we have metal?
このうちどれか一つを魔術師は持っているんだけど、
Okay, never
中に
mind.
はさらに分化した属性もあるわ。
While they do have the kind of generic ones, there are also the more, like, specific ones, like possibly Shiro with swords.
大抵そういう魔術師は中央には入れず、突出した専門家として名を馳せるらしいけど、それで言うならシローは剣よ。
I mean, I suppose that would explain it a bit.
多様性はないけど、こと剣に関しては頂点を狙えるってこと。
I guess it's convenient that we got Saber then, huh? Maybe that's why we got Saber.
それは確かに。
When it comes to swords, I've always had a strong interest in them. Then what attribute would Tosaka be? Considering her, I'm sure it's something uppity like fire or wind. But I want to ask, and I'm curious.
なあ登坂、参考までに聞くけど、お前の属性ってなんだ？
私は五大元素っていう属性だけど。
Oh, what? So she gets 5 of them? Does that mean she has all of them?
ともかく私が言えることなんてそんなものよ。
Okay.
投影は虚栄って言われるぐらい意味のないものだから、あまり多用はしないこと。それにね、セイバーの剣を模造するなんてそんなのは自殺行為よ。あの時はうまくいったからいいものの、本来なら自滅していてもおかしくなかった。あんたも言ってたけど、セイバーの剣の魔力はシローの魔力のキャパシティを超えているのよ。それを複製するってことは、自分の魔術回路の限界を軽くオーバーしてるってわかるでしょ？
I suppose that makes sense. It might very well just be incredibly risky to try it again, but I mean, there's a chance we have to again.
分かってる。けど、自分の限界なんてそう簡単に超えられないだろ？いや、そもそも限界なんだから、それ以上なんていけないんじゃないのか？
いけるわ。だからこそ、魔術師は死と隣り合わせなんじゃない。
Yeah, I feel like that doesn't make sense. It's not like code or something, right? Where your limits, it's not possible to just surpass them, right? I feel like in real life, a human trying to do something, especially typically in like magic, right? They can draw too much or try too hard to do something that they just can't do and attempt to surpass their limits and just die for it, right? I feel like that's kind of what's going on here.
魔術が形式に沿ったものなら、知識さえあればどんな魔術だって行えるのは道理でしょ。
But some people's bodies can't handle certain magic in this universe, it seems.
たとえ自分では再現不可能の奇跡だって分かっていても、それにチャレンジすることは誰にでもできる。魔術師なんて動力源に過ぎない。小さなエンジンでもアクセルを踏み続けていれば規定以上のスピードは出る。けど、その先にあるのは自滅しかない。
It's a decent enough metaphor. You can go fast with a bad engine, but that's not gonna end well.
それと同じよ。魔術師っていうのはね、自滅さえ覚悟するなら限界なんて簡単に超えられる。魔術回路を焼き切らせて神経をズタズタにして、それでも魔力を回転させていけば奇跡に手は届くわ。あなたの投影はまさにそれよ。戦いの後ずっと体が熱かったのは神経が焼き切れていたからだもの。それが分不相応な魔術の代償よ。
That actually would make a lot of sense, I guess.
手足の1本や2本壊れて当然のことをあなたはしたの。
But we have absurdly OP healing. She's angry at me, but at the same time,
だから覚えておきなさい、エミヤ君。自分の限界を超えた魔術は術者を廃人にするわ。セイバーの剣を投影するなんてもう二度とやらないで。
she's really worried about me as well. Yeah. We know Shiro though. If it comes to a situation where it's I might become a cripple forever but save this person or these people, I mean, or I could not do it and lose those people. What's he doing? He's becoming a cripple. That's Shiro. Dangerously self-destructive. I guess those words kind of mean the same thing. You don't need to call someone dangerously self-destructive. Just self-destructive. That was an interesting scene with Tosaka because I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too much into the fact that we actually pulled it off, right? Because at first I kind of was like just thinking she just didn't really understand. And I don't think it's that so much as like what she said, like there's no way we can reproduce that. She's seen us. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we secretly are amazingly good, right? And just can't do strengthening magic because we can't control, right? But I don't know. It does feel like that was just some kind of miracle that we forged Caliburn. I would bet we're going to forge it again. Especially after that scene with her warning us not to. I 100% now think we will do it again eventually. Right? But it didn't. At first, I kind of wasn't sure where Tosaka was coming from there. I kind of think her endpoint, like, it makes a lot of sense. Like, you know, that burning and the fever, right? He burned a lot of nerves doing that, and probably should never do anything like that again. But we know Shiro. He'll totally do it again. I think she's angry that we even tried it, and, well, we did succeed, and worried that if we think, like, hey, it worked, and try it again, we will actually just die, or become crippled. It's interesting, because, I mean, like I said, I feel like we're totally going to try it again, eventually. I mean, I don't know, maybe we'll get some secrets about Shiro, and that he's secretly OP, right? Or maybe he'll power spike and be able to actually do it. But I could see that being like a one-off miracle that he somehow pulled off, despite not being the strongest magus around. Anyways, let's move on. After warning me, Tosaka hands me some strange medicine.
まあ、無理するなって言っても無駄だろうしね。
Correct.
気休めだろうけど、もしもの時の痛め止めぐらいは飲んどきなさい。うまくいけば、あざで変色した肌も治るかもしれないし。
Definitely worried about us. Saying that, she prepares a light green powder for me. I drink the medicine with tea. Tosaka rummages through her stuff and tries to prescribe me another medicine. Well, I feel sorry for Tosaka for rummaging through her stuff. I'm bored just sitting here, so I should... Question number 1. What does that mean? What does question number 1 mean? What does that mean? I think I'm going to ask about the projection magic, but I don't know what question number 1 means. So, like, I think I'm just going to do it and then reload. There's something I don't understand. Tosaka wasn't easily crushed in the battle against Berserker. I wonder what kind of trick that was. That's a good question. How's that question number 1?
なあ、トサカ、昨日の話なんだけど、ちょっといいか？
何？忙しいんだから手短にして。
うん。トサカ、バーサーカーに掴まれただろ？あの状態でよく持ちこたえたなって。そうは見えないけど、腹筋すげえ鍛えてあるのか
？Bro, I don't think any level of abs is saving you from getting crushed by Berserker. What? Maybe there's some form of magic, right? But abs? You think abs pulled that off? Oh my god.
鍛えてあるだけでバーサーカーの腕力に耐えられるなんて。私のお腹は鉄以上ってこと？
What the heck? Are you stupid, Shiro? Bro, she is crying laughing at that. You said something incredibly stupid.
悪い。聞き方が悪かった。悪かったから、笑顔で先をみなぎらせるのはやめてくれ。
Oh god.
そっちこそ無駄に挑発しないでよね。で、どうやって持ちこたえたかだけど、事前にお腹に宝石を仕込んでおいたのよ。服の内側に貼り付けて防護膜を貼ってたわけ。
I guess that explains
納
it.
得いった？
Doesn't really explain it in the bad end, but
そっか。遠坂は初めからバーサーカーに掴まれる気だったもんな。そりゃあらかじめ体を守っておくか。けど遠坂、そうなるとお前の宝石って。
What, all gone?
もう品切れよ。
Yep.
セイバーに1個、バーサーカーの注意をそらすのに3個、顔を吹っ飛ばすのに5個で、体を守らせてたのが1個。
That's unfortunate.
10年以上蓄えたものだけど、使う時はあっという間だったわ。しかもそのほとんどを使ったのにバーサーカーは倒せなかったし。
Yeah, that's what's really tough. She sighs, wondering why, but she doesn't regret using them. What's done is done. She knows that the important thing is not what she lost, but what she will gain from now on. Excuse me.
そっか。残念だったな、遠坂。
ありがとう。まあこの教訓を生かして次は私一人で倒せるようなものを作ってみせるわ。
Next time, you plan on participating in the next Holy Grail War? She says so simply. As she says, I bet our words will come true. Because of that, I realize our battle with Berserker ended in victory because Tosaka was there. Yeah, she definitely helped a lot. Okay. I wanted to ask more about projection magic, actually, but... Hold on. What is this? I remember looking at this once. Relationship. I have no idea what this means. Like, it's pretty obvious to me now who all of these people are. But, like, what is the context of these bars? Is that just, like, how much they like us? Maybe? I don't know. I mean, whatever. I've got no clue what that actually means. I'm not even going to try and interpret it. Okay. I want to ask what I actually wanted to ask. Like, is that just like a bugged prompt? I feel like it has to be a bugged prompt, right? How would you know what question number 1 means? Let's ask about the projection magic. Yeah, I understand what this projection magic is, but I want to know more details about it. Especially the part about forming your image.
なあ、遠坂。忙しいとこ悪いんだけど。
何よ、早くしろってんなら蹴っ飛ばすわよ。
Dang!
探し物が見つからなくてイライラしてるのはこっちなんだから。どうしてこうしまったはずのものがなくなってるのよ、この家は。
I mean, that's tough. She complains. This is certainly like her. Everything she does is perfect, but especially the part where she always messes up her preparations. That's tough. Everything she does is perfect. Oh, man.
ああ、そのままそのまま。探しながらでいいから、さっきの話の続きをしてくれないか。その、東映がイメージから作る模造品だとか、そういうこと。
まあいいわ。話しておくことはあんたのためになるかもしれないし。
Perhaps. She's really in a bad mood. She throws away the Boston bag she was rummaging through and sits back down on the chair.
じゃあ手短に説明するわね。投影っていうのは手持ちにないものをその時だけ使うためのものよ。逆に言えばこの世にないもの、とっくに失われたものさえ復元することができる。
Which is what we did.
本物を寸分たがわず想像できれば、あとは魔力で一時的に編み上げられるってこと。この投影したものは魔力の期間に応じて消えていくのは話したわよね。
Yep.
どんなに強い魔力でもイメージで編み上げた物体はだんだんと薄れていく。いいえ、それだけじゃないわ。そんな幻想は世界そのものが許さない。だから投影によって編み上げられたものは一日だって世界にはとどまれない。
And that's why we're gonna somehow permanently recreate Caliburn. Probably not, but could you imagine? Pretty funny. I feel like she'd have quite a reaction to that.
世界そのものが許さないってどうして？
幻想は幻想だから何でもありなの。それがもし形を得てしまったら、それはもう現実でしょ。けど 現実にはそんなものは存在しない。その矛盾を解消するためにね、現実が幻想を潰しにかかるのよ。
Okay. I mean, I guess that makes sense. I feel like that's a pretty common explanation.
いい？魔術ってのは元からあるものに手を加えて違うものに切り替える現象を言うの。言うなれば変化、等価交換よ。けど幻想に等価交換も何もない。イメージで作られたものが世界のどこにもない場合、それは絶対の矛盾になる。
Okay, actually, I suppose that makes a lot of sense.
だからこの時代にありえないセーバーの剣なんて投影したら、世界そのものがその幻想を破壊する。世界とつながって奇跡を起こすのはいいけど、世界にない奇跡を起こすのはご法度だから。通常の魔術っていうのは世界のどこかにある実物を目の前に持ってきて使うことよ。けど投影魔術は人間のイメージを彩色する。
So wait, if we can create a miracle that exists in this world, can we make her current sword? Her wind sword? Let her dual wield? It'd be pretty sweet, right? It'd actually be horrible. I feel like she'd probably be worse dual wielding, but it'd be a sight to see Saber dual wielding invisible swords.
いかに魔術といえど、ここにないものを作り上げてはいけない。それは現実を侵食する幻想に他ならないから、生物が自己防衛を最優先するように、世界だって自己防衛を最優先する。世界にとっての命は秩序でしょ。だから秩序を乱す矛盾、現実を侵食する幻想は世界そのものに握りつぶされるのよ。
Tosaka explains it all. Yeah, she kind of just info dumped us. Of course, I don't get half of what she said.
そうか。つまり俺がしたことはエミやシロの限界を超えているってことなんだな。
I mean, she's kind of saying it's past anybody's limits and that if you try that, it's just gonna vanish every time,
だ
no
から
matter
そう
who
言
it
った
is.
じゃない。
Yeah, that's not what she was trying to tell us.
投影はあなたの命を削る魔術だから、セイバーにねだられても使っちゃダメよ。
Drains your life? That's an important thing to tell us. Tosaka resumes her search. Watching her, I realize again that the victory over Berserker was truly a miracle. Did that alter... I doubt it did, but would that alter relationship at all? No. I liked the other one more, actually. It probably doesn't matter. I think that was just a lore conversation. So we'll just keep going. So, after she makes me drink various medicine, she makes me practice simple strengthening to check on my health. Like checking if there's anything wrong with my body by channeling magical energy through it, and so on. Tosaka's more like a doctor than a teacher today. Yeah, seems like it.
よし、問題はないみたいね。この分なら明日はもう来なくていいわ。
But what if we want to?
え、
I'm surprised. That means...
当然じゃない。今の状況で私があなたに教えることなんてないもの。本気で魔術を習いたいんなら、この戦いが終わってからにするべきよ。
I mean, yeah, I guess.
それに、もうアーチャーはいないでしょ。素人の協力関係はもうとっくに終わってたのよ。
Is she gonna dip? Being told that, I finally realize. From the beginning, we cooperated to fight Berserker. Berserker is gone, and Tosaka has lost her servant. So, this should all have ended yesterday.
それじゃあ遠坂はこれからどうするんだ。琴峰のところに行くのか。
There's no way. That would only be natural. Tosaka and Kotomine are close, so it should be fine for her to request his protection.
なんで？行くわけないじゃない。まだ負けてもいないのに。サーバントがいなくなったから戦えないなんてことはないでしょ。
I mean, I suppose you can, like, find one in the wild, but...
それに、やり逃げってのも趣味じゃないしね。一度戦うと決めたからには、最後まで事の顛末を確かめるのが責任でしょ。
I'm now very worried she's going to die. As if it's only natural. Tosaka says it confidently. I'm stunned. No, I'm not surprised. I already knew Tosaka was this kind of a person. She's really firm, and amazingly selfish, and and so fascinatingly brilliant.
けどそれじゃどうするんだ。一人でやっていくのか。
Is she gonna leave and try to survive herself, or is she just gonna stay here?
まだサーバントとマスターは残ってるんだぞ。
そうね。だからしばらくはここで情報を集めるわ。竜道寺の調査も再開しないといけないし。
I suppose, yeah.
しばらくはここに残る。いいのか。
Oh, soccer? Wasn't the deal that she gets kicked out?
そうしてもらえると助かるけど、もう協力関係は終わったんだろ。なら
何言ってるのよ。バーサーカーに勝てたのはあーちゃんのおかげでしょ。協力関係は終わったけど、その借りはまだ貸したままよ。返済が終わるまでここを提供するのは当然じゃない。
She wants to stay, but she's not coming out and saying it. And she is right, in a sense. Like, he does very much owe her, for many reasons, but most recently Archer's death, to save his skin.
それに責任は最後まで取るって言ったでしょ。ちょっとの間だったけど師弟になったしね。あなたを一人にしたら頼りなくって心配で、聖杯戦争どころじゃなくなるわ。
Aw, she's worried about us. Yeah. I figured it. I mean, it's pretty obvious she didn't want anything happening to us. Right? From the beginning. Or she wouldn't have revived us. And then freaking dragged us away from Berserker. Right? And then sacrificed Archer. Right? Like, in other words, and this is it. Yes. Feels like ages ago, but the Tosaka Rin that Emiyashiro admired was a girl like this. That's why I'm happy. Tosaka has to be like this. After all, I wouldn't know what to believe if such a stubborn girl decided to give up. That's very true. It wouldn't be like her.
なあ、これからもよろしく頼む、トサカ。なんだかんだ言って、お前がいないと右も左もわからない。俺とセイバーにはトサカが必要なんだ。
Dang, he really just laid it on. I mean, it's all facts, but...
いいけどあんたその言い回しはやめなさいってば。バカ正直なのはいいけど気をつけないと誤解を招くわよ。
She did not expect that. She did not expect that, man. I don't quite understand why Tosaka would get mad at that.
トサカ、誤解を招くって何を招くってんだ。
Bro.
あのね、今のは失言なの。聞くなって態度で表してるんだから、追求するのはルール違反よ。
Oh, man. What? So asking me is against the rules? What? Oh, man. I feel like it's got to be pretty obvious to us what this is, but Shiro is just... He might be dumber than a box of rocks, honestly, in a situation like this. Seems Tosaka knows a rule I don't know about. What? Oh, man. And I love this sprite. I don't know what it is. It's one of my favorite sprites. I really do like the sprite work in this game, just in general, though.
呆れた。
Oh, Lord.
これじゃセイバーも大変だわ。
Is that a blushing sprite? What? Or is that not what that is? Seems like it might be.
まあ、それともあんたたちはそれでちょうどいいのかもね。少しぐらい麻痺してないと、あなたもセイバーもダメなのかもしんないし。
I guess I suppose so.
よくわからないけど、そのセイバーが大変だってのは聞き捨てならないぞ。なんだってセイバーが大変なんだよ、トサカ。
Saber watching us?
だから、あんたのそういうところが大変だって言ってるの。その分じゃセイバーの変化になんて気がついてないんでしょ、エリア君は。
Even we noticed the change in Saber. Come on.
セイバーの変化。
He doesn't realize everybody's fallen for him. That's not a change on the outside, is it? If anything has changed about Saber, it's...
ああ、そういえば朝から様子が変だったな。 いや、イリアがいたから不機嫌だったとは思うんだけど、それにしたって黙って正座してるわ。どうしたんだって聞けば、夢を見たとか言って立ち去っちまうし。
Sure. I forgot about it since I was busy with Illya. Come to think of it, Saber was acting weird, like she was half asleep or something.
セイバーが夢を見た？
Oh lord.
何？それって驚くところか、遠坂。
Oh, she's ignoring me.
おい、黙ってないで何か言ってくれ。そんな顔されるとこっちまで不安になってくる。
ああ、別にそんな大したことじゃないわ。
That is so cap. Stop. Stop lying.
単にサーバントは夢を見ないってだけだから。
Really? That's tough. That's awkward. Whoops. Guess she was daydreaming. Servants don't dream?
そうよ。サーバントは夢なんて見ないわ。
Yikes.
それでも見たって言うんなら、それは夢じゃない。単に誰かの記憶を垣間見ただけの話よ。
Hmm. Hey, we've done that. Doubtful that that's relevant. Could be. Probably not. Maybe it has something to do with our weird link with Saber. Right? And our, like, healing powers. Maybe that's why we kind of get glimpses of her memories. Tosaka must have had the same experience. She says so with a coldness, totally different from her earlier cheerfulness. And so, it's time to prepare to... What? How did I mess up the word prepare? It's time to prepare dinner. All the things that happened in the past few days must have destroyed the cooking rotation. Yeah?
今日の夕食お願いね。今夜もまた冷えそうだし、イリアもいるし、シチューとかいいんじゃない？
Yeah, sounds pretty good to me. But she tells me that as she leaves.
まあ確かにイリアはシチューってイメージだけどな。
Maybe because of how she looks with the coat and the hat? Anyways, I have no objections to making stew for dinner. I'm not that good at making Western food, but I shouldn't make any terrible mistakes with stew.
その前に
It's a bit before 6. There's still a bit of time until I need to start cooking. I'm sweaty, so I should take a bath. It's a bit of a hassle to take a bath before dinner, but since Tosaka and Saber take their baths after dinner, I'm forced to take it late. Isn't that early? The hallway is cold. Odds that Saber's somehow in here, taking a shower or something. The room is warm because of the heater, but I can feel the winter cold as soon as I emerge into the hallway. It seems that even though the weather should be warm, it's been a bit screwed up in the past few days. Speaking of cold, I heard that it snowed. I didn't notice, probably because it lasted less than an hour and there wasn't much. Well, if it did pile up, the yard would be full of snowman army and I'd have to clean it up afterwards. So you could say I'm glad, yeah, Illya definitely would make a snowman army. Of course, only one person would build a snowman army. The day it snowed last year, I remember her standing in front of class with hands red from frostbite. Is it Sakura or Fujini? I feel like it's probably Fujini. I was going to take a shower, but the bathroom is quite hot already. You are so dumb. He's gonna open that curtain, and Saber's already gonna be in there, huh? Or Illya. Oh god, I hope it's not Illya.
シロ、
Yep. The sound of water. As soon as my gaze moves to the bathtub. Oh no. Chill. My head goes whiter than the steam. There's a 0% chance I screenshot this, because there's a 0% chance this ever becomes a thumbnail.
No.
I can't talk right since my throat is numb. I can't move my body because I can't think. But still, somewhere in my head, I think that something like this happened before. It's because it did happen before. Have you tried knocking? I mean, I guess it is your house, so I guess it makes sense that you're not used to that, but no, it's not the same as before. Yeah, she was at least in a towel last time. Saber was bearing her skin last time, but I was fully clothed. Oh my goodness. Bro, what? But this time it's completely different. Bro, you already stripped?
Saber.
My gasp echoes through the air. Saber watches as I stand there dumbfounded. Saber will get mad this time. No, she won't. Surely she'll get mad. No, she won't. She'll definitely get mad. I'm not repeating it again. As proof, her soft lips are trembling as if they will yell in the next moment.
すまん、悪かった。シャワーを使おうと思って、いや、こんな時間に誰か入っているとは思っていなかったんだけど、普通気がつくだろう、そんなことって言われるのはもっともなんだが。
I give my excuses while backing up towards the dressing room. It's not like I'm fascinated by Saber. It just feels like Saber will get madder if I run back to the dressing room. But in either case, I can't take my eyes off her. I remember that night at the ruins. I recall the warmth of Saber, who was so close to me. Saber's body was frail and delicate. We share our warmth and heartbeats. Shared. It wasn't the time for this back then. But now, all of it makes me feel something that's hard to resist.
とにかく話は後で。
I reach behind me, searching for the door. Then...
申し訳ありません、シロ。その勝手な申し出なのですが、今は席を外してもらえないでしょうか。
What is selfish about that request? You still seem pretty calm to me. Saber asks in a faint voice as she averts her gaze. That really blanks my mind. Why Saber won't get mad. Her embarrassed face makes all the blood go to my head.
なんて。
What? I murmur by reflex. Saber hangs her head even more in apology.
ですから、シャワーを使うのはもう少し後にしてください。この場を一人で使うことを今だけは許してほしい。
Okay. Saber curls up as if hiding her body. That suddenly makes me remember. When I met Saber in the dressing room last time, she didn't say anything. The sex of a servant is of no concern. She was the one who said that with no concern for her appearance.
つまり、待て、頭がぐるぐるしててうまく言えないんだが。
Come on, work.
要するに、セイバー、怒ってないのか？
Bro, just leave.
シローが体を洗うのは当然でしょう。私はそこまでマスターの行動を制限しません。
I understand. In other words, Saber thinks nothing of her appearance, or whether or not she is clothed. So it's only natural that I'm here. As a bath is a place to wash your body, it's natural for me to be here. Saber being here is also of no concern. Also is of no concern, excuse me. That's, helpful. But I also think it's wrong.
けど、なら、今俺がシャワーを使ってもいいってことになるんだけど。
No.
ですから、それは
Leave. Saber hangs her head in embarrassment.
見られることは問題ではないのです。ただ、私の体は凛のように少女のものではありません。
What's that supposed to mean?
ですから、
Saber blushes even more and finishes with difficulty.
シローにはあまり見てほしくない。このように筋肉のついた体では殿方には見苦しいでしょう。
False. You might have missed the way that Shiro literally can't look away, but she says that. I almost faint for a bunch of different reasons.
バカ、そんなこと。
If I finish, I'm sure I'll go crazy. Saber's body is not unsightly. She claims her body is rugged, but I was never worried about that. Of course, her body is trained compared to Tosaka's, but still, I think Saber's body is really feminine. Good lord,
シロ
man.
そういう理由だから一人にしてほしいのですが。
Okay, okay. I don't know how I answered. All I can remember is that I nodded and shut the door. Goodness, man. It's a weird scene. And so the day ends. Dinner was exciting. Illya spoke more and more at each meal today. She had a weird relationship with Tosaka where I couldn't tell whether they were friendly or fighting. Saber's more approving of Illya, but she must not have let her guard down as she frowns every time Illya comes near me. The past few days were too wild. Yeah, they were. So were the past few episodes. A normal day like this is unsettling for me. So who's gonna kill us? Who's gonna try and kill us tonight? I got to the yard quietly. It's a bit before midnight. Oh man, I just thought about it. We can't have any more of those weird talks with Archer. Those vague and like kind of cryptic. I'll miss those. Under the cold moonlight, I walked, leaving traces of white breath behind me. Before I realize it, I'm doing my daily routine. I'm being taught by Tosaka, so there's no need for me to train here now. But still, I sit on the cold ground and check the thing within me. It's not that I feel uneasy about my skills. This is just a jinx. I've been doing this for years now, so it just doesn't feel right unless I finish my day here. I mean, hey, that's just daily routine, man.
Torres. Oh.
Why did that music scare me? What the heck? Oh, we were gonna get jumped or something. But today's training is more heated up than usual. Tosaka told me not to use it, but I can't obediently agree with her. Bro, is he really... Bro, not even 24 hours, and he's gonna already ignore Tosaka. It probably hasn't even been 12. And he's already gonna be like, you know what? I'm trying projection again anyways. Oh man, don't cripple yourself. I can make this projection thing mine. It'll be a powerful weapon, and I'll be able to help Saber better. Besides, I still have that heat in my body. The night at the ruin. The battle in the forest filled with morning mist. The golden sword I made. The remaining heat is still in my hands. My heart wishes it to start burning again when I try again. Reproducing it is easy. My mind was jumbled up back then because I was desperate, but I can perform only the steps I need now. No. From the beginning, there was only one to guide Miyashiro. There was only one. The pronunciation is the same. Just change the self-recognition, and it will become an original spell. I understand how dangerous it is without needing for Tosaka to tell me. As a magus, Miyashiro must not associate himself with projection. It's something that's beyond me. A venture beyond one's capabilities will eventually be paid for by death. So what, did he stop? I erased the blueprint I was drawing. On the other side of the door. Oh, was someone there? As if hiding the blue moon, Saber approaches. Yeah, those were steps then.
よかった。ここにいたのですね、シロ。姿が見えないので何かあったのかと。
They come here like every night. This is not the first place you looked?
いや、別に何があったわけじゃない。寝つけないから頭の体操をしていただけだ。一通りこなしたら部屋に戻るから心配はいらない。
そうですか。ならいいのですが。
Saying so, she looks at me. It's impossible to hide as my face is all sweaty as always.
ああ、これもいつものことだから気にしないでくれ。魔術の練習なんて魔術師として当然のたしなみだろ。いや、まあ半人前なんで失敗はつきものなんだけど。
I wiped the sweat off my forehead.
Oh.
I'm surprised. The sweat I wiped off is ice cold. What? I thought it was cold. But was it this cold in the shed?
シロ、一日も欠かさずそれを。
Correct.
いや、まあできる限りは。親父に言われた日課だし、これぐらいはやらないと。
Replying, I regret that I'm bluffing. This is my daily routine. I wanted to boast to Saber by saying that. The training at the end of the day is certainly no trouble for me. But it was never easy for me either. Saber doesn't say anything. Behind her is the moon. Slanting rays of light enter the shed, covered in blue darkness. This is like a reproduction of the night I met her.
セイバー、遠坂が言ってたことなんだけど。
As soon as I think this is like watching a dream.
サーバントは夢を見ないっていうのは本当なのか？
Ooh, coming right at her with that question. Without realizing, I ask her that question. Uh-oh.
ええ、私たちは夢を見ない。もともと幽体であるサーバントは眠りません。私は幽体化ができないため眠らざるを得ませんが、それでも夢を見れません。
でも朝は見たって。
Called her out. Yep. I mean, it was pretty obvious she was lying, but was she gonna respond to that? A small silence. She closes her eyes once and looks at me with a gentle face as if she's determined.
私が見たものはあなたの夢です、シロ。
Oh. Huh.
マスターとサーバントは精神的にもつながっている。結びつきが強くなれば相手の過去を垣間見ることもあるでしょう。
So did she see our past? While we saw hers, or did she see us see her past?
夢に見たって。
Okay, his past.
俺の過去か。
Well, I guess probably she'll tell us in a second.
はい。あなたの心に踏み入る行為だとは分かっていたのですが、私には拒むことができなかった。それをどうか許してください、シロ。
There's no way he's gonna make a big deal out of that. That goes for me as well. Saber's past. I've seen the days before she became a servant many times.
バカ、そんなのセイバーのせいじゃないだろう。夢に見ちまうなら仕方がないじゃないか。それに謝るのはこっちの方だ。
That's right, I've seen your past multiple times.
俺の昔なんてつまんないことばかりだろ。そんなもん見せられたらおちおち眠ってられやしない。
I'd bet she got dreams more like the fire. Bet.
いえ、夢を見たのは今朝だけです。それも最近のことではありませんから、シロの男性としてのプライベートを侵害するようなことは決してありません。
I don't think we were ever worried about that possibility. Saber comments honestly. But private? Well, I've done ordinary stupid things, but...
それは助かるけど、最近のことじゃないって、じゃあ、いつ頃のことなんだ？
I can answer that one. 10 years ago. There's no way they'd make a scene this big if it wasn't that.
大きな火事でした。私が見たものはその光景だけです。
A quiet voice. Her gentle eyes tell me what she saw. Ooh, that's a PTSD flashback. I see. Oh, what was that? That was a new addition. So she dreamt about that.
そうか。それはなんていうか。
Should I say unfortunate? It's like going to a movie theater to go see a movie you know, but going into the wrong theater and seeing something completely different.
それでわかりました。いいえ、前から思ってはいたのです。あなたにはひどく危ういところがあると。
Well, like a dangerously selfless side to us?
危ういところってなんだよ。そりゃセイバーから見れば至るところは危なげだろうけど。
そんな意味ではありません。あなたは、シローは私と似ています。だからあなたの間違いもわかる。このまま進めばどうなってしまうかも同じだから分かってしまう。
So she's definitely very worried about us. She knows how, like, how that fire impacted us, and I guess she sees that probably the same thing that happened to her with all of her knights turning on her would happen to us, right? Like, if we keep on our path. That's my best guess as to what she means.
いや、間違ってなんかないけどな。そりゃ失敗は数えきれないけど、俺は親父みたいな正義の味方になるんだ。間違ったことなんてできないだろう。
I think that mindset is where you're wrong. That's your mistake.
だからそれが間違いなのです。
Read your line before you said it.
シロ、あの事故はあなたのせいでもないし、その責任はあなたが負うべきものでもない。あなたには償うべきものなどないのです。
So she saw his survivor's guilt and the fact that he wants to have he wants to be that superhero to make it up for the people who weren't able to make it. He wants to do something big so that it didn't feel like him being the survivor was like a waste, you know? Man, that's really sad. I'm not gonna lie. I had to take a second there. I was about to tear up. Just kind of thinking about how his entire mentality is because of that fire. Like, and how dangerous that is for him. That's horrible, man. Of course. It was only an accident, and I was only a victim. Well, certainly there have been times when I felt guilty about being the only survivor, but...
以前リンが言っていました。シローの自己犠牲と献身ぶりは異常だと。あなたは自らの命を代価として人を助けようとするのではない。あなたは単に初めから自分の命が感情に入っていないのではないですか。
Very, very, very accurate description. Not gonna lie. Lots of examples of it. And the prime example is the first fight against Berserker. Excuse me. When he just didn't think, right? And he said that much. He didn't think about what he was doing. He never considered the impact that going and saving Saber would have on his lifespan, right? And the fact that it would probably kill him. He never, at any point, considered that. It's not even it wasn't like a weighted decision, you know? And eventually it'll lead to him dying, frankly. Did my pupils open wide? Somehow, I cannot see Saber's face clearly.
あの事故を忘れることはあなたにはできないでしょう。ですが、覚えている限りシローは変わらない。
I think that's the problem.
それは苦しいのではないですか。
It is very painful for him. And that's why he is who he is now.
苦しい？俺が？
You gonna act like you don't feel pain? Well, of course it's painful. Saber doesn't need to tell me that. It's only natural. So many people died and it was such a hell. I think it's only natural for it to be painful. And besides, if it weren't, it might all be meaningless.
うん。確かにこうして思い出すと辛い。けど、それは終わったことだ。今さらどうにかできることじゃないだろう。
He knows that, but his mentality is still heavily affected by that incident, right? Like how he acts, and why he's so selfless. He says that, but he doesn't act that way. Saber doesn't answer. She scratches her arm, irritated.
私は聖杯を手に入れなければならない。けれど、それはシローにも当てはまる。
セイバー。
シローには聖杯が必要だ。私があなたに呼び出されたのは必然だったのです、マスター。
What do we need it for? We're gonna undo time, reverse the fire? I mean, if it's not us somehow undoing that event, then why would we need the Holy Grail? I guess to wipe it from our memory? How can I answer that?
先に眠ります。 シローもあまり無茶はしないように。
Jeez. Saber leaves. I cross my arms and ponder. Do I need the Holy Grail? The Grail that grants the wishes of its possessor. A vessel which contains unlimited amounts of magical energy, for which it is said nothing is impossible. If I had such a thing, my wish would certainly be easily granted, but...
いや、違う。どう考えても聖杯なんていらないぞ、俺。
Yeah, I definitely don't need it. Because I don't have any wishes that won't come true or that are impossible. Because if it's a dream I can't reach by myself, I won't even dream it in the first place. The night that thickens. With only the moonlight, I listen to the distant wind in the familiar shed. I did not anticipate that scene at all. I figured we were just gonna... Excuse me. Use some magic or something and go to bed. I did not expect the emotional scene coming. 2:13 bookmark. Okay, well, let's go a little longer. Got a little more time. Ooh, yeah, but now he's dreaming about it again. A red hill covered in corpses and a gray sky. The heavy clouds drifting away announced the end of the battle. Ooh, wait. This is not that. This is something else. Saber again. I know this scene. This is a scene I've seen many times already. This is one of the battles Saber experienced. Sorry. These are the remains of a battleground so familiar to her, as she is always victorious. After this, she will return to her castle. The people will celebrate her victory, and they will prepare for the next battle. This is her everyday life. This is about one of the 12 great battles she has gone through. That is why she does not bear any memories of the victory, but merely accepts it calmly. I think about such random things. That is not a dream. Just a cold truth that cannot be changed. From the moment she drew the sword from the stone, she was not human. After becoming a feudal lord like her father, she became a king with many knights. She was called King Arthur, or Arturia, and the girl who had tried to become a knight had her life turned around. No, it is more correct to say that it ended. At that instant, the girl with childlike features disappeared, and the only existence permitted was that of the King of Knights. She acted as the son of the king. That is because the one to govern many territories and control the knights had to be male. The only ones who knew that the king was just a girl were her father and the Magus. She literally covered herself in steel and sealed that truth for all her life. Why didn't I realize what that meant? Someone placed before everyone managed to keep her identity secret. I don't know what suffering she went through, as I'm only watching from a distance. Yeah, I hadn't even considered that. You gotta keep your entire identity a secret, like... I mean, I guess I would kind of dehumanize you. Maybe that's why the knights thought as much. It certainly must have been brutal on her. I think I already said that. I'll say it anyways. Time passes. These must be her memories of the 10 years she spent as king. There's only one thing common to all of them. Even on the throne, even in a hallway, even on the battlefield, no one talked to her. Even the loud round table filled with the knights' tales of bravado falls silent when the king steps in. So that's what it means. She was only idolized. Many knights looked down on Arturia, who looked like a small kid, and they did not approve of swearing their sword to her. But because she drew out the sword that they could not, they had to obey her, at least in form. They just accepted the disgrace, believing that it would pass. Even if she drew the sword, she's just a child. Even with Merlin's help, she'll fail soon enough. When that happens, they need to only take the holy sword away from her and reselect the king. That's what most of the knights thought. But the results were different. The knights that just entered adulthood was a king without flaw. She brought peace to the fighting lords and immediately fought off the invading enemies. Of course, it wasn't because of the power of that holy sword. The holy sword only protects the king. It is the king's power that protects the country. And in that way, she suppressed the knights with results. The protection of the holy sword works only against enemy swords. It does not help rule over people's hearts. She worked hard to be an ideal king, and so the knights had to follow their king. They suppressed their dissatisfaction with the young king, as they saw he was perfect. She tried to be an ideal king. Being an ideal king was the condition of their support. There was no room for the human, Arturia. The girl determined to be king. A great knight who pulled out the holy sword, who did not age from that moment on, and one who won 12 great battles. The more perfect she was, the more people kept away from her. The longer she stayed that way, the more isolated she became. That was her true identity. She had it rough, man. But she still did well. No, she did too well. She defeated her enemies efficiently and minimized the victims in battle. No matter what kind of a war it is, a battle will have victims. So she believed she should make sacrifices before the war to prepare the army and to defeat the enemy efficiently. She would exhaust one village to prepare the army, defeat the invaders before they could damage the land, and save 10 villages. That was the solution she came up with as the king, and in truth, it was the best policy. But the knights must have been unhappy. For them, only the invaders should die. It was only proper to win without allowing any victims. There's no need to sacrifice one's own territory before a battle. We will win, so there will not be any victims. There will not be any victims, so the king's actions are fruitless. That's what they thought. Of course, that was just a fantasy. Once the battle began, the knights did not think about the small villages. It was only natural for them to trample over them, as the small villages are not what they seek to protect. The knights say it is only natural to be destroyed by the invaders, but it is a great sin to destroy them with our own hands. Of course, she knew that. But a knight cannot allow her personal feelings to affect her decisions. She kills her emotions to make a decision, and the knights suppress their personal feelings to obey. And after many sacrifices and continuing victories, the country became stable. The price of that was a revolt against the king. King Arthur does not understand human feelings. One knight said so and left the castle. It's a ridiculous story. Nobody wanted her to be human, but they revolted against her because she didn't have a human's feelings. The Age of Chaos continues. The knights, who had been dissatisfied with the king for some time, became more dissatisfied after that one knight left. They pushed all problems onto her and cornered her. Ruin was in sight. Death if she cannot solve all the problems. Even if she did solve them, the result would be the same. But such trivial things are of no concern to a king. Her mind will not change even if she is abandoned, feared, or betrayed. Probably because she had her mind made up long before. She abandoned her emotions from the moment she decided to pull out the sword. A scene from a few years before. Knights from all over the country gathered to try to pull out the sword in the stone. But nobody could pull it out, and the knights were desperate to choose the most superior king by competing jousting skills. The knights went to the arena and forgot about the sword. It felt much like watching a festival from a distance. In the distance are the brave sounds of the cavalry. The roars of the knights are far away, and there is no one around the stone. What did the girl think before that? Before she realized it, an unknown magus was standing behind her.
それを手に取る前にきちんと考えた方がいい。
He says he is not trying to frighten her, but that she should stop.
それを手にしたが最後、君は人間ではなくなるよ。
He also said that she would be resented by all humanity and die a miserable death. She cannot have been without fear, because the magus showed her the end she would face if she took the sword. Took the sword, excuse me. But that just made the girl more determined. She nodded firmly, even when she was shown her future. The magus asks her if she is really fine with that.
多くの人が笑っていました。それはきっと間違いではないと思います。
She takes the sword. The magus turns his back.
奇跡には代償が必要だ。君はその一番大切なものを引き換えにするだろう。
And leaves those prophetic words. That's right. The girl only wanted to protect everyone. But to do so, she had to throw away the emotion of wanting to protect people. Because one cannot protect a country as king if one has human emotions. She accepted it and pulled out the sword. She accepted it and swore to live as the king. So her heart would not change even if she was abandoned, feared, or betrayed. She threw away her heart. The young girl decided to protect in exchange for it. Who would ever know of such a sublime oath?
戦うと決めた。
No matter what.
それでも戦うと決めたのだ。
She likes saying this out loud to us. Even if there was inevitable solitary ruin waiting at the end. And the end was this. The Battle of Camlin. One knight usurped the throne while King Arthur was on a campaign. Her country split into two, and a war began. In the legend, it is said that knights and chivalry were utterly destroyed. She slashed away the knights that once followed her and attacked the land she once protected. The knights who sided with her died, and her body was crippled. There was nobody around her. That's normal. Nothing has changed. Ooh. Yikes. Even if it's true, that's brutal. The only thing in her heart is her pride as the king. She knew of this end, but she still ran through her life because she believed something came of it. She has no regrets. If there is one regret, it is that the country is in ruin. She raises her eyes. She might be able to see the distant castle from this hill. But all that's there is the remains of the battle, a deep forest, and a lake she must return to. Yes, the hill she ran through is now a wall she cannot climb over. Strength escapes her shoulders, and for the first time, the girl lets go of the holy sword by her own will. And that is the end. It's only natural for the dream to end there, because that is the end of her memories. So this is one end that cannot be changed. She worked so hard, she was resented, and she was betrayed. No one ever realized that she loved the people more than the country, and she was always the merciless king. She was never rewarded or understood. On the Red Hill of Swords, the solitary girl who was always betrayed is about to face death. Jeez. That was brutal, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, we already knew, like, she had, like, a tragic past, right? But I feel like that just made it all the more clear. How she had to completely throw away her humanity, right? To be the king. And even knew that she had to do that, right? She knew all of this would come at a cost, and she knew she'd die that lonely, miserable death. And still did it just to protect the people. And that's also exactly what caused her downfall, right? I feel like that's why she's so worried for us, right? She probably sees a bit of herself in us, right? And how we want to be this selfless hero, right? Who saves everyone. But then some people can't accept that, you know? We'll go a little longer, I think. Probably not too much longer. Maybe I should just end it here. I feel like this is a fine ending spot. It doesn't have to be 2 hours. Makes sense to end here, I suppose. Okay, so let's go ahead and end here. I feel like this was a pretty good episode. Definitely, I mean, it wasn't like it wasn't quite as good as the last few episodes, but the scene in the shed, the last scene were both really, really good. The scenes with Tosaka were pretty interesting. It was nice to just, kind of chill, see Illya. I will admit, I didn't really like the scene where we walked in on Saber in the bath again. But, I mean, what am I going to do about that? I actually might have to edit that. I didn't actually look too much at the CG. I don't know if I need to censor that. I hope not. I've done censoring once, and it was a pain. Although I guess I was in a game where stuff moved, so not a huge deal. I mean, it wasn't, like, amazing. It wasn't like the last few episodes, like, with intense interactions, but there was some interesting world building here, especially with the relationship between Saber and Shiro. Not the bathtub part, or not the giggly Saber at the beginning, right? More of the tragic past of Saber and how she sees that in Shiro, right? And sees his past trauma and how he wants to be this superhero and how it'll end for him, right? That's the part that was interesting to me. But I mean, like, I enjoyed the episode overall, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. I just want to throw it out there. There will almost certainly not be an episode tomorrow. New season for Destiny comes out tomorrow, so I'll probably just want to play that all day. Maybe if I'm up late enough, I'll record after all of my friends hop off. But good chance there's not an episode tomorrow. Just figured I'd let you guys know in advance. But there should almost certainly be an episode the day after in that case. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that. I hope I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.